Hey guys, so this is what if Duke Thomas was in Young Justice. Now, if you don't know who Duke Thomas is, basically, if you've seen the new book series, what was it? Um, Batman, the Justice Runs in the Family, or if you just have seen pretty much Duke Thomas around and you're into DC Comics and you're all about the Bat Family, I am at least. Basically, guys, I got a Duke Thomas by scrolling around and eventually looking up, what was it, Black Robin, because I went to a comic book store and I found a Duke Thomas figure. Didn't pick it up because I didn't know who it was. But when a couple months later, I looked it up and then I found it was Duke Thomas. Did some research about him, went on some books about him, and I found out he's a really good character. In my opinion, he's one of my top 3 favorite people in the Bat family, other than Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Duke Thomas, and, well, Nightwing. Now, basically, let's get ready, guys. So, basically, guys, before we start the video, let's talk about what I'm going to be doing. Now, basically, I'm going to be going back to my roots because I have a lot of subscribers, but I have barely any views. So, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go back, or I'm going to be going back on my roots to YouTube Shorts. So, I'm going to start making YouTube Shorts again. And then I'm going to start making a little bit. Then I'm gonna start pretty much making a healthy amount or a equal amount of Deku, Callum, Young Justice, and My Hero What Ifs. And basically, I'm gonna be splitting up my What Ifs. Still, I'm gonna be uploading at least 4 What Ifs each week, and at least 3 pretty much YouTube Shorts, or pretty much 3 action figure YouTube Shorts, um at least 3 times a week or 3 times a weekend. So at least through 2 on the weekends and 3 on the week. So yeah, so you guys would have something to look forward to for action figure content. And also on the weekends or on the days off of school or stuff like that, I most likely will be uploading action figure custom figures. I just uploaded a custom live action Wolverine review, or pretty much a talk through of how I made it, so you guys can go watch that real quick. And yeah, so guys, basically I'm just gonna try to get my views back up again and try and pretty much make a good amount of YouTube shorts and what ifs, and I'm gonna go back to my roots like when I started my channel. So yeah, let's get started, guys. So enough talking, let's get right into the what if. Now, first of all, I was thinking about which series should pretty much Duke Thomas should be in, or how I would introduce him. I wasn't gonna go with season 1 because we still needed, season 1 wouldn't really be season 1 if it didn't really have the original Robin in it. So what would happen here is Duke Thomas would make an appearance in season 2. Now, Duke Thomas does come in to be Batman's apprentice or first metahuman, pretty much trained by Batman. But metahumans start becoming really big near the end, or near like the middle or beginning of season 2. And I didn't want to put him in season 3 because I already have at least like 2 what ifs in season 3. What if werewolves are in Young Justice and other stuff. So basically, what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be introducing Duke Thomas, doing near the ending of season pretty much 2, or near pretty much the ending of season 2. Yeah, in the season 2, but at the beginning. So before we go any further, just want to say one last thing, guys. Don't be mad. One last thing. I'm not going to be uploading, and I'm going to be scratching the idea of what if Robin had one for all. Basically, I already have another what if. What if Robin had all for one? And I just feel like, all for one's a more better power. I have more creativity and more power and everything, and more creativity with that power, other than there's one for all, because one for all just gives you super strength. That's basically it, with a little bit extra power as well. But I don't think Robin. I might still make that what if, just because of the Black Whip situation and everything. I feel like Robin can do a lot with that. So I still might making that. I still might make that what if. But I'm probably gonna wait until next weekend or this Friday. So yeah. So let's get into it, guys. So basically, we start our story off with season 2. Oh, sorry, guys. What the heck? So, guys, basically, Duke Thomas, when he made his first appearance somewhere, like a cameo somewhere near season 2, but he would actually be introduced in season 3, because in season 3, only thing got close near Robin in season 3 of the team in season 3 was probably Nightwing and some shots of Tim Drake. So what I'm going to be doing here, guys, is for basic season 2, Duke Thomas would be shown in a back shot of pretty much camera footage of Batman with his new sidekick, and very much Tim Drake would meet Duke Thomas, but for a short amount of time, because Batman wouldn't really have Duke Thomas around the Batcave that much. He would just train him then and there, and he would be pretty much a vigilante of Gotham in the daytime for about a couple months. And his second month of being a vigilante in Gotham City at daytime would pretty much merge into, well, season 3 of Young Justice. We start off with episode 1, Prince's All. We start episode 1 seeing basically Nightwing and Aqualad talking about the whole entire events of, well, how the team isn't the same without Wally. Talking about Wally's death and everything like that. So they would be discussing. Now basically, Nightwing would have got a call by, well, Thomas or Duke. Basically, him being told by Duke as Duke was running as he was on the phone, basically saying that I need your help somewhere in Gotham City, somewhere near the factory plants where Joker was born. Basically, Nightwing was saying, don't do anything stupid when I'm there. You know Jason's story. Basically, Duke said, I'm not Jason. I can handle Joker myself. Basically, Nightwing would have said, don't do, and pretty much Duke would have hung up on Nightwing. Pretty much Duke would have ran into the place, pretty much looking for Joker, and had his batons ready and set. He would start looking around, and eventually he would get shot at by the Joker. He would have dodged the attacks, and would have made the whole building just go black. Now, if you don't know Duke Thomas's power set, basically he can control light, and that's his metagene. His father is a villain that can control light and shadows and basic stuff like that, and also can have immortal blood. Basically, in theory, Duke can become immortal, but we're not gonna really get into that yet. Just gonna get into his, normal power set. Duke has all the skills and abilities of a normal Robin, plus some training from Batman. And on top of that, Duke also has pretty much shadow or light manipulation. Now, with the power like that, with Batman's training and being a part of the Bat family, literally being trained by Batman, the greatest pretty much, well, fighter, or the greatest detective, and the most stealthiest guy in DC Comics, plus with the ability to literally make yourself, well, virtually completely invisible, even though you're already super stealthy by being, well, trained by Batman. That makes you 10 times, that makes you literally a ghost. So basically, Duke can basically, in theory, just use his light in multiple different ways of heat signature picking up and stuff like that. Heat signatures and stuff like that. Basically, he can use his light in multiple different ways for sight, and also uses light to blind people, or to slightly do a burst shot, and also he can also use his pretty much a light manipulation to basically, well, black out a whole room by basically being able to make a huge cloud of darkness in broad daylight or in a whole entire room, making it black out. So basically, he is the only one that can see through the dark. I'm pretty sure one of his powers is that he can see through the dark. So basically, pretty much that's what Duke does. He takes the light from the whole place, including from the pretty much vats of glowing liquids in the pretty much chemical plant, seeing that Joker can't see anything. Joker just starts shooting nonsense around the place. Eventually, him shooting a gas tank, making the gas tank hit Joker and make him fall off the edge. And Joker falls into the same chemical plant that he fell into before. Now, he doesn't get super Joker eyes, he just swims in there and stays there until Duke pretty much, well, lightens the room. pretty much relights it. Basically, Duke looking around comes to the conclusion that maybe Joker just ran off. So Duke flees the area, trying to find places where Joker went. Joker comes out the chemical vat and pretty much jumps out of it, basically going back to his little base or the Joker cave. Basically, him running off and catching a ride from Harley. Now you get switched back to pretty much Duke, and Duke would have been back at the Batcave talking to Bruce, and Bruce would have told him that you should have stayed for us. You're super lucky. All my apprentices have gone under Joker, including Jason, never came back. Now basically, as that whole entire mission or a little type of, side scene would go on, after those events, we would get switched back to basically the Watchtower and Aqualad and Batgirl talking to the team. Let's list them out. Lagoon Boy, Wonder Girl, Blue Beetle, Tim Drake, Robin, Superboy, Martian Girl, Beast Boy, um, I think it was Tigress, Kid Flash or Wally, and pretty much, what was it? I think it was Kid Flash, not Wally, but Impulse, and also, what was it? Blue Beetle, or, yeah, Beetle, Bumblebee, sorry, and, what was it? I think it was Guardian, or the new Guardian, and Static Shock, so yeah. Basically, Miss Martian, Superboy, and Gar would basically being pretty much Team Alpha, pretty much having a Mars mission of sorts. So basically, what would happen? Pretty much Tigress, Kid Flash, and Bumblebee, and pretty much Guardian would have been given a task as well. Pretty much Nightwing would have just said business as usual after Alkalat giving the information, or pretty much the, instructions of the missions. And basically, you would see Nightwing walk off, basically him getting a phone call saying that the whole situation between Duke and Joker were already, situated, and it was nothing to be worried about. So Nightwing just went on to do what he was originally going to do in canon. Now it gets switched to some sort of mansion of sorts. Basically, we get switched to a pretty much some sort of, the mansion wasn't really a mansion. It was some sort of hospital of sorts. And basically, it would see a scientist basically experimenting on some sort of little girl. And basically, this little girl was the sister of a boy in the hospital being told a false lie that her sister's heart died out and we couldn't find a transplant. But obviously, his sister was alive and well, so she was screaming her head off. She was in a black tube, well, not really a black tube, in some sort of test tube type, pretty much, tube. It's kind of like the same, pretty much, testing or cloning tube Superboy was in season 1. Basically, it just filling up with black goo, basically consuming the girl. Basically, we see the girl, and we can see, or we can assume that the black goo pretty much activates a metagene in your body, and basically makes you, stronger, and activates your metagene. Basically, this girl's metagene was some sort of mutation that made her body look like some sort of lava monster, and had her heart exposed. Not only exposed, just pretty much had parts of her body lava eyes that was see through, kind of like a lava lamp. Basically, she would be confused, but the thing on her pretty much neck in the beginning started tasing her and controlling her and made her fight. And basically, this fight was alongside other parademons. Basically, the girl screamed out in pain and was forced to fight. Basically, her jumping out of the ship and onto some sort of planet. Basically, her fighting against soldiers and burning them alive just by her landing. Now, she would have started to walk around, seeing that her touch gives fire off. We see two people, Adam Strange, and also a couple others like Superman, pretty much fighting against some sort of war against the pretty much other beings. Now, basically, we see Fro- Killer Frost, more parademon star that get taken down, Wonder Woman, and we see the monster or the water lava monster start to burn through the ice Frost is making. We see pretty much Black Adam trying to Black Lightning trying to shoot more lightning towards the fire creature, trying to keep it back. But the electricity is too much for the fire creature, making its heart speed up too much and making it die. The team of the Justice Leaguers, basically, one of them pretty much communicate or use their technology to find out that the alien creature or the monster was a 14-year-old girl in Earth years, and pretty much the same main cause of death was heart failure, and that she used to be human. Basically, us saying that, well, Green Lantern, Superman, Wonder Woman, Killer Frost, how is it? Or some sort of Frost. I don't even know what her name is. Martian Manhunter and Black Lightning see that it's dead, the creature. Now, we get switched back to basically, we get switched off from that point. See that Black Lightning is completely shocked at this point. You get hit with that weird intro of sorts, really bad intro of sorts for season 3, and we get switched back to the Watchtower. We see basically Blue Beetle, Kid Flash, and multiple others, pretty much us seeing that, Impulse is wearing more of a tweaked out, better looking, Kid Flash suit. So basically, Megan talks to Alpha Squad, basically us saying Alpha Squad suits tweaked out and looking a little bit different. Pretty much Tim's suit looking a little bit more cooler, seeing Huntress and multiple other people, and pretty much Blue Beetle having way bigger, way cooler looking, pretty much appendages for the, well, Scarab, and seeing that pretty much Impulse has more tweaked out, more unique Hit Flash suit, alongside Megan having white skin and pretty much embracing her Martian skin, basically her having white skin instead of green skin and being bold. We see Sir Boy and everybody else in better type art styles. We see pretty much Steel or Superman Steel, and we see Black Lightning show up. They start talking a little bit, and basically we see them just walk off. Basically, Wonder Girl talking to Black Lightning, being kind of confused, and pretty much Impulse making a smarky request or pretty much comment. We see Aqualad show up, and Aqualad in a new suit, as being shown that Aqualad is, well, the new Aquaman, and basically Aqualad tells him about a little bit of things. Nothing really pretty much changes or that changes from that point on from the story. Everything goes the same. The talking, everything. Then we get switched to basically a hologram Wonder Woman. She tells them that metahumans are getting deployed all around the world, and they're being subjugated around the world, and more things are going off and off. They talk about the growing problem of metahumans being tested positive or negative, and even if they're tested either way, they're barely seen. Basically, us getting shown that, well, the problem of metahumans are getting bigger by the second. Metahumans are being treated like objects, and more trade and valuable resources to be taken lightly. Basically, being treated as such as, well, items. Basically, us getting shown a little bit of a map about Lex Luthor's whole entire, pretty much, hand in this whole entire meta trafficking bull. Batman talks about maybe, saying that on Earth, our usefulness on Earth is becoming died out. Basically, Batman saying or trying to conclusion that maybe we should just disband. Maybe the League shouldn't be the League anymore. And pretty much Nightwing, no, not Nightwing, Batman and Aqualad pretty much argue a little bit. Aqualad saying you are a founding member, you can't do this. Basically, Batman saying I'm tenderizing my seat or my spot of the league, basically him quitting. Now, basically, everybody is shocked by this, and Batman quits the league, basically mainly for the whole entire league part, but mainly on top of the fact that he wants to also stay more occupied on keeping pretty much Duke out of trouble and not trying to make him end up like Jason. Basically, we see pretty much multiple other leaguers quit, basically seeing pretty much Green Lantern about to quit, and he quits. Basically, a scene on the hologram part of the league that's not able to be there, also resigning. Seeing that, Flash is the only one left on the hologram cams or the hologram calls that hasn't, resigned. Basically, they leave, and pretty much Black Canary doesn't go with Green Arrow, pretty much saying that you knew I wouldn't be on board blindsiding Elder. Pretty much her saying, if you're leaving, leave. Pretty much not really talking or not really trying to look at all of it. Now, basically, the rest of the team will be left with pretty much, the rest of the league. Red Tornado, a few others, Black Lightning, Calder, or the new Aquaman, or Aqualad, and multiple others. Black Lightning also quit, saying that he can't do this anymore. Him being hurt by the whole entire situation of him accidentally killing a 14-year-old child in their meta form. We would get shown basically, pretty much the rest or like the current Young Justice just chilling on the stairs of the pretty much Watchtower, and that's getting shown pretty much the Justice League walking out from the whole entire meeting room. Not the Justice League, just Batman and Green Arrow. Basically, Batman and Green Arrow walking out, and then being kind of confused why they're leaving. Basically, Batman says it's time, and multiple other people on the team, ditch or just straight up leave. Basically, Tim holding Wonder Girl's hand, not trying to make her feel left out. Basically, Tim saying, pretty much Tim leaving, basically being very angry at himself. Basically, us seeing multiple others people on the team just leaving alongside Batman and Green Arrow. Us being shown that maybe they were part of the whole entire thing for leaving the Young Justice and the Justice League. Pretty much we get seen that we see Batman trying to tell Virgil or pretty much Black Lightning, maybe you can join us. Basically him saying, no, I don't trust you. And after the stuff you pulled in there today. Basically him leaving and walking past Virgil, or basically, Static Shock, basically saying, I hope you can find a new mentor. Not one that's as broken as me. Basically him walking it off and boom tombing somewhere else. Or boom tombing away. And basically, it would seem pretty much Impulse and Blue Beetle very confused on what's going on here. We would get switched to Gotham City, or basically, we would get switched to some sort of warehouse where we would see pretty much Nightwing and Duke actually doing kind of a team up type situation. Them going out on the night, pretty much taking down crime bosses, and pretty much just taking out some goons, and pretty much Duke saying that was a pretty good mission. Pretty good fight, right? Pretty much Nightwing saying, just keep quiet. Basically, them getting ready and looking through multiple containers, seeing that it was metahumans or kids being traded. Basically, Nightwing and Duke letting them free. Basically, Duke being hit a little bit more emotionally than normal, since he felt like this was targeted to him, or not really targeted to him, but he just felt like it hurt him more since he was a metahuman himself. But basically, his metagene wouldn't really been activated, just been activated naturally, not like this. Basically, Nightwing would have left his batarangs, pretty much destroying the place, but Nightwing, before he destroyed the place, getting some samples alongside Duke also getting some samples as well. Now basically we see the pretty much factory or the place getting pretty much blown up, pretty much Nightwing and Duke, being on their hotel missions, and pretty much Nightwing sending pretty much the coordinates or something like that, using his new type of whatever tech eye contacts that work like pretty much a computer in your face. Now basically Nightwing would have said, wow, and pretty much saying the same thing as well. Now, basically, we could switch to pretty much Cat Graven, or some sort of, well, pretty much Queen of Indian and King. I don't even know his name, but yeah. So basically, Princess Talia, missing 2 years old, pretty much us getting shown the same type of, pretty much well spread out whole entire mission and the whole entire Prince of Morcon or whatever. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but yeah. So basically, yeah. So Dick Thomas does have a little mission with Nightwing, and Nightwing has more of a connection. Duke has more connection with Nightwing, and basically, has more connection with Nightwing and Batman, but more like Nightwing because he's more connected to Nightwing. But basically, yeah. So basically, Duke is still kind of a part of the Bat family, and he is still kind of living with Batman in the Bruce mansion. But he doesn't. He's not on the whole entire Young Justice team, or even is a part of the, yeah, you pretty much Justice League. Basically, Nightwing trying to think if maybe Duke should join the team. And basically, he gets switched to the whole entire league, the whole entire whole entire what was it, Prince situation. Nothing from that point on changes. We see Nightwing arriving somewhere. Basically, Nightwing going on his whole entire, well, I don't even know what it is. His whole entire eye contact lenses type of tech, well, eye contacts. Basically, Duke being in the back seat with Dick or Grayson. Basically, us being seen pretty much, well, pretty much Artemis waking up with her dog, basically her seeing a picture of her and Wally and her feeling kind of, warm inside. Her going on and getting ready, giving her dog some food and pretty much living alongside, well, her daughter and pretty much another person. Now we see Nightwing show up, basically asking for Megan. I mean, pretty much, is it? Asking for pretty much Artemis. And basically, it switched back to the castle. And from that point on, from the whole entire castle scenes, everything goes exactly the same. Since Duke wouldn't be there to stop the whole entire thing, or Duke or the League wouldn't really be there for that part of the mission. Now you get switched to basically Nightwing alongside Duke. Duke being in the backseat still. Basically, well, pretty much Grayson driving to some sort of house, or driving towards, well, Superboy and Megan's house. And basically, he would drive there, and basically would see Megan and Superboy talking, and pretty much Grayson would have shown up with Duke. Basically, Duke being in this, like, same outfit as this, just without the whole entire arm, pretty much bracings around his fist, and without the helmet. And basically, Duke and them would have shown up, and basically, they would have, well, talked it out a little bit. Basically, Grayson saying the same type of thing, basically asking them, well, to help. Basically, Nightwing says is a little bit of a covert option, so no super suits. Pretty much, Sir was saying I never wear a super suit. What do you mean? Basically, him pointing to the pretty much his Superman shirt, saying, "Sorry, buddy, that counts." Basically saying, "I'll send you some dark wear in the pretty much in the Saiyan tube." Basically saying, "Bye, I need to make one more stop. Let's go, Duke." Basically, Duke following after pretty much Grayson. And basically, Duke saying, "Well, I have a full-on yellow suit, so I don't think that's really stealth." Basically, Nightwing saying, "I have something for you, but let's just keep on going. I gotta make one more stop, Duke." When they leave, we see Superboy and Megan, or Superboy pretty much propose to Megan. Now, after the castle scene, we get switched back to Black Lightning, back to his pretty much, well, wife's house, of his ex-wife, or his ex-wife's house. Now we see basically him talking to her, pretty much him being very, you know, distraught about the whole entire situation. Now he's also pretty much, well, Robin shows up, or Grayson shows up, asking Black Lightning for his help. Now basically, Duke would have been in the back the whole time, just staying quiet. Basically, Grayson saying, "Let's go." Basically, him walking off. Now we get switched back to some sort of Seder tube, pretty much somewhere near the area, and we see Artemis meet up with Grayson, alongside Superboy and Megan showing up as well, or just Superboy showing up. Basically, us getting shown of Black Lightning also showing up as well. Black Lightning doing a whole time Superman, landing or whatever. And Duke also being there as well. So basically, Duke would have been there as well with his whole entire bag. Pretty much him having some clothes that he was lended from Jake Grayson from his olden days, or Grayson, or a stealth suit Grayson had. And that's how I'm not gonna leave it off here because I at least do 2 episodes each episode or each part. So we switch on to season 3, episode 2. Now, before we do that, let's go over pretty much. Well, pretty much let's go over Duke's whole entire, dressing situation for the mission. We could switch to episode 2, season 3. Basically, us getting seen pretty much Gar talking about, or pretty much us getting switched to Garfield, Logan, or pretty much Beast Boy on his whole entire life, show, or whatever. Now we can switch back to basically the whole entire political issue of pretty much the beginning of episode 2 and all the other stuff about Black Lightning and all the other stuff and Nightwing, pretty much Duke being there as also. Now we see Nightwing and Artemis pretty much get some booking tickets, basically acting like they're a couple, whatever. They get some pretty much they get some places and get some pretty much district or pretty much reach to go do an opera mission at the castle or at the whole entire Queen's place where the episode 1 began. Now we basically see Duke alongside Scribbleaway and Black Lightning on the ship, basically flying over the pretty much castle, basically Nightwing and Artemis pretty much getting out of the pretty much car, and then getting invited to the whole entire gallery walk or whatever, or the whole entire party. And basically, we could see Grayson using his whole entire high-tech eye lenses to basically take camera footage and also other stuff where he's looking. Basically, us seeing basically Duke being on some sort of the same area where, pretty much Duke being in kind of a blackish, just a complete black version of his hero costume, just with all the yellow in his suit being replaced with dark gray. So just imagine this suit, just with all the yellow in his suit being replaced with a dark gray. And also the white Batman logo just not being there, just it being a plain, flat, gray base. So yeah. So basically, Duke would have been, pretty much on his whole entire covert mission with Superboy and Black Lightning. Basically, them going around the base trying to find a way in. Black Lightning would use his hand to try to pretty much make this work, and pretty much Superboy would have told him that's the right way. And basically, they would have opened them pretty much. What was it? The window and would have snuck in alongside Duke. Now, basically, Lightning would have used his energy, pretty much his energy or his electricity detecting to basically find the electricity panels or the wires in the walls to direct them in the right way. Now, basically, they would have eventually found, some sort of area of sorts. Basically, seeing, looking around. Now, pretty much, he would use his lightning detection to find that the wall was type of a hollow wall or something. Now, basically, they would have found some sort of panel, and he would have opened it, seeing that it was some sort of button. They would have looked at it, and pretty much, they would have unlocked it, seeing that it was a hidden door, and the door would have unlocked, letting them in. Now, basically, Duke would have passed by both of them being an eager little kid. Or pretty much Duke was 18, but he was still, learning to be a vigilante. Now, basically, Duke was walking around, basically looking around. Basically, they would have ducked looking around. Duke using his, powers of light manipulation to basically, lighting the room for him, but not being able to let anybody else see him. Basically, Duke, instead of using the whole entire, pretty much face gambling stuff, he would actually use some of his meta powers on himself, but not on them. They would still put the whole entire camera, scrambling tech on, but pretty much Duke would use his meta gene to basically make his face look completely blacked out, kind of like Reverse Flash with the whole entire phasing thing, with him controlling the light and everything. And basically, pretty much we would have seen basically Nightwing look at some pieces. No, Sarah Boy looking at some pieces, seeing that it was some sort of, well, mother box or something. It was pretty much Black Lightning would see a girl in the tube. Basically, us being shown that the tubes are filled with people, and I guess the black goo or water well activated their mutations or their pretty much metagenes. Now we would get seeing them being attacked by whoever we called, I think, Inertia or something. Now Duke would have used some of his powers to try to darken the whole room, and would have made the whole room just turn completely dark. And basically, before we get that, basically, Black Lightning would have seen the same type of, well, lava monster from before. Basically, well, pretty much Duke being very, or no, pretty much what was it? Basically, Black Lightning being very confused and hurt and very, shocked in fear by seeing the whole entire thing of basically seeing, well, the lava monster that looks exactly like the monster he accidentally killed. Basically, us getting shown that Thomas and Zerboy and Black Lightning escaped. Basically, us getting shown that, well, the man in the green jacket told the creature to follow them. Now, basically, the creature jumps down through the hole that Zerboy made to escape the whole entire fight. Basically, Thomas using his powers to darken the whole tunnel behind them so nobody without a light source themselves can follow them. I basically would see some gangsters or some thugs pretty much burying 3 bodies in some sort of big grave of sorts. And I guess these are people that they killed doing the whole entire, thing. And we see Artemis getting dressed up in her, black suit with her black gear and her getting ready for the mission. And basically, we could see pretty much a purple light of some sorts. And basically, Artemis would have driven down, pretty much trying to see what that light was. And one of the women in the grave they were burying, she came back to life for some reason. Now she was getting hit with pretty much dirt, and one of the goons tried to keep her in there, trying to bury her alive. Basically, Aramis would have stopped them, beating the absolute doo-doo water out of all of them. Basically, taking them all out. One of them would try to get away in the truck. Basically, one of them keeping her occupied with some sort of shovel or whatever. Her basically just taking him out real quick in a hurry. Basically, seeing that other guy is about to get away. Now we see pretty much Artemis help up the girl from the grave. Basically, one of the other men come out with some sort of, energy type whip or whatever. And we see the woman use some sort of power to stop or block the whip. Artemis being kind of confused what happened. Now, basically, the 3 men get back up, pretty much trying to get out the way and flee. Now, basically, Artemis would have fled with the girl, trying to get the girl to safety. And basically, we can switch back to the team, and we can switch to basically Grayson driving off, and we would get hit with pretty much a stress call from Artemis talking about the woman or the girl with the powers that she found. And basically, we could switch back to Superboy, Duke, and Black Lightning in the tunnels or the sewers, trying to stay away from that whole entire monster creature. Basically, let's say Superboy kind of hurt or taken out or burnt by that whole entire situation. But we see them get attacked by it, basically getting Black Lightning getting hit in top of the water, Superboy getting pretty much burned in the solar area, like the chest area, by the pretty much lava creature. Basically, the lava creature dragging him along. With Duke, whole entire thing, Duke was mollywopped first. He was the first one to actually get taken down. So Duke was straight up just drop kicked into the wall. Now, basically, the creature dragged Duke and what was it? Dragged Duke and pretty much Boy with them. Basically, pretty much with Duke's whole entire suit, pretty much most of his suit being fireproof, so most of his suit wasn't burned off when the creature drop kicked him and dragged him alongside a Boy with him. We switch out to Artemis talking back to the people. We see Artemis come across Black Lightning's body after Black Lightning's body was knocked out when he fell into the water. And Black Lightning does regain consciousness, talking to pretty much well, pretty much, what was it? Talking to, pretty much, Artemis. And basically, you see Superboy and Duke Thomas, and basically, you see the same person before trying to, well, pretty much, pretty much tell or ask. But pretty much, they take off the whole entire face mask of Superboy, saying that he has some sort of face similar to Superman's. Now, basically, they also try to take off Duke's helmet, but Duke's helmet has a same type of Batman, pretty much security measures. So it basically stays this ever living life out of this boy and actually knocks out the villain. Now, basically, Duke wakes up from the electricity jolt and basically tries to wake up Connor. Now, basically, as you know, the man was knocked out, he tries to wake up Connor and gets switched back to the prince and everything. And pretty much the people capture the prince and basically force him to become a metahuman and basically try to pit him into the tube. Now we see Black Lightning and Artemis talking, and we see pretty much Superboy and pretty much we see Superboy and Duke trying to stop the whole entire situation, but Duke was actually stopped pretty quickly because since he made a lot of the villain made a lot of noise when he was electrocuted. Basically, the villain, or pretty much the monster, stepped in and took down Thomas again. Basically, Thomas, or Duke, the Prince, and Superboy would have all been in tubes. Basically, them being filled up with the black ooze, with the black goo. And basically, I was getting shown that the Prince was about to get, well, pretty much metahuman dies. And basically, pretty much one of them say, don't do that. But he says, hush, you need to see what goes on. And basically, we see a whole entire situation going on. And we see the prince almost get, well, metanized. Or is getting turned into a meta. Or his meta gene is getting activated. Basically, the prince tries to save himself, trying to open up the tube. Trying to say, let me go, blah, blah, blah. Basically, Duke waking up, him still being in the whole entire harness thing with other people still in the being tube, and basically the scientist tells Duke that's gonna be all okay. It's gonna be all okay. Basically, Duke being not Duke, pretty much the prince being very angry at her, and basically us getting switched off from that point. Now, Duke would have been in the tube, but Duke would have still been able to get out. But we're not gonna get into that, and Duke's not gonna get out until part 2. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys like and subscribe. And I know near the end of this what if it got lower, but that's because I made this video like early in the morning and like my energy went down later on. But yeah, so basically guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys like and subscribe, and stay tuned for my pretty much new vapping of my channel and trying to go back to my roots and try to get more views, overviews. So see you guys later. Bye. As always, guys, have a blessed day.